No.
All right. It's a very entertaining show. Okay. Well, there was an episode where I think the Vada Vassad episode from season four. Season was that season three? I can't remember if then season four or three now. And um, Morty says he has English homework, right? And Rick is like, you're still struggling with homework for the language you speak. How dumb are you, right? But we all know that English, the subject, is not just because you're a native English speaker doesn't mean that you'll do well in English, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and just because you can speak English doesn't mean that you can write in standard English, because there is Bahamian English or Bahamian Creole, right? Like a variant of standard English, and then there's standard English, where words are written and spelled and pronounced a certain way with certain rules, okay, that must be followed, especially in writing, right, Mrs. Dennis?
Yes.
Like, for example, I could say, like, people would say, get out my yard, right? And we, you know what that old woman would mean. You know what Grammy mean? Get she's asked, she's saying, you all, you know, instead of saying you all, she's saying and you know that means you all, meaning not just you, but all of you, vacate my property.
That's right.
Okay? So right. So it's more than just it's not enough to know English. Just like a student who may speak Creole, that doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be a star student in French.
Right. Two
Okay?
totally different. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a difference between Creole and French, and there's a difference between Bahamian Creole and Standard English. And when you add to that, a lot of you don't spend a lot of time writing, right? And sorry, you do, but you don't. What I mean is, you send text messages every day. You text your friends, your parents, your family every day. But do you text them in standard English? Probably not.
No.
All right. It's probably more like we don't even write words anymore.
See, Alicia just say OFC not. And I guess
OFC.
that's of
It's not
course not. I'm like, what?
that I don't know. That could stand for Oriental fried chicken. I don't know. Right? So okay, and even though for THO, but guess what? Guess what? Listen to me now, right? There's nothing wrong with communicating in that way with your family. But the problem that has created as of late with this generation is that a lot of you bring that alphanumeric language into your writing.
Yeah.
You bring the THOs and the BTWs and the OFCs to your writing. And I don't mean when someone is speaking dialogue. I'm talking about like when it's exposition, not even in the dialogue part of if it's a narrative essay. And we don't have, there's no place for that in standard English when we're writing. Okay? Yeah, I know that they're acronyms. You're right, Aliyah, but you have to remember that. Now, I mean, I wouldn't say there's not a place for it, right? Like if someone is sending a text message and you're writing as an essay, right? You can say that Jason sent a text message. Help me, boy. Um, I need to get out of here or OTF. I don't know, out of here or whatever, right? So it has a place. Okay. Yes, we're on slide 2 of 22. It has a place, but when it comes to writing essays in English, there's a lot you need to consider. Okay. All right. I couldn't think on my feet for that one. All right. So let's look at this. Let's get started. Now, me see. What is ironic about this comic? All right. What's ironic about this comic? Let's look at this. Thank you, Dr. Farrington. Thank you for that very astute explanation. Yes, the brain is a complex organ, you say, and yeah, so it's fine to use acronyms whenever because we can easily interpret their meanings with no problems. You see, right? Very good. Okay, can anyone tell me what's ironic about this comic? Help me out. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Jeez, I didn't mean to do that either. I'm doing a lot of stuff I don't mean. Yes, exactly, Emmanuel. She's acting like it's so much to do in class. 250 words. Are you crazy? Why not ask me for the blood from my body or the eyes from my eye sockets? Huh? Why not ask me for my heart, my beating heart, right? But she goes home and guess what? She can write 12 pages. But what's the difference? The difference is in one, there's a prescribed form of writing. So she's limited in what she can write in class. But when she's at home, she can write about things that interest her, right? But there's still irony there because I mean she's writing in both, but I guess maybe in the when writing a blog, she doesn't have to pay attention as much to grammar and spelling and punctuation and sentence structure. But in class, not only is she limited by the prompts the teacher might give, like the topics the teacher might give, she's also confined to the realization that wow, I have to be very careful how I write this thing. Okay, I have to make sure all my grammar is on point, my spelling, my capitalization, my sentence structure, my organization, my content is. I have to make sure all those things are good. Um, but I think a lot of you don't have an issue with that because some of the essays you write is like wow, ooh, you don't rate me or Mrs. Dennis or Mrs. Toot at all. You don't rate us at all. Y'all don't like us. Y'all don't. If y'all, because my thing is right. If I come to work and I give you the worst possible performance as a teacher, like I give you the bare minimum, does that mean I care about you? If I just come and I'm like, y'all, I just wake up, so let me tell you what. I'm gonna write the work on the board and you all answer the questions. I'm gonna be sitting on my desk. Don't bother me, please. Does that sound like I care? I mean, I'm still coming into the class. I'm writing questions on the board. I may have taught you yesterday, right? So, but who say, yeah, I would be happy? Oh, man, jeez. Wow. Okay. But point I'm making is that's how teachers feel sometimes when you give them work that is subpar, right? Work that you just slap together. You see all kind of errors in it. Like we feel like you don't regard. Not only do you not regard yourself, but you don't regard us. You don't regard the subject. Okay. So yeah. Okay, let's move on. Okay. What is an essay, guys? All right. Essays are shorter pieces of writing that often require the student to hone a number of skills such as creativity, analysis, comparison and contrast, persuasion, conciseness, clarity, and exposition. Woo! Lord. I have to catch my breath from reading that. And I think I don't know, Mrs. Dennis, you still in here? All right. I think that's why students maybe sometimes you guys get a bit nervous, right? When it comes to essay writing, right? Is that why? Is that why? What happens, guys? You sometimes get a little flabbergasted because you think that essay writing is difficult and there's so many things you have to remember to do. All right, not that. It's the topic. Okay. Now when you say it's really the topic, you know what, guys? I'm gonna unmute you. I'm gonna unmute you for the moment. All right. Because I think it'll be a little faster. But remember, please raise your hand. Use the hand raise emoji, please. It's just for this. I want to actually hear from, because I think this is very important for teachers to listen to students and their issues with essay writing, because essay writing is such an important skill at this level. All right. So I want you guys to raise your hands. Please, once you're done talking, please remember to mute yourself. We don't need to hear what's going on in the background in your neck of the woods. All right. All right. So you guys have been unmuted. You can, sorry, you have the option of unmuting yourself. All right. You all pick these boring topics like, how was your summer break? How was Christmas? Like IDK, normal, right? But Angel, let me say this. It's not that, as with anything, in almost anything in life, it's not the thing itself, it's what you do with it, right? It's like, what I mean is, when bad stuff happens, it's not even like your reaction to it can make a big difference when something bad happens to you. If you get upset, I mean, because people would get upset if like they lose $100, but if you dwell on that and you let that ruin your entire day, your entire week, it's way worse. Okay, it's way worse. But if you decide to change your outlook and say, well, you know what, I lost $100, but guess what? People lose money every day. I'm glad I could have lost more. If you focus on other things and like, oh, I still have my health, or you know what? Rather than stressing about that $100, I'm going to try and make that $100 back by doing an odd job, right? Your perspective can make a huge difference. All right. And if you look at a topic and say, oh, this is boring, then it's going to be boring. It's most often it's up to you to do something with the topic, right? Not for the topic to see. What a lot of you want is like, a lot of people, like, I'm not trying to be cruel here, but the fact is, like, let me use relationships as an example. Some people, they want to come to a relationship where the other person has everything. Like the other person has the money, they have the house, they have the car already, and they just want to come and enjoy. They don't want to build, right? They just want to come and enjoy the fruits of that other person's labor. They don't believe in building because that's too much work, right? But I mean, the fact is, all right, you have to put what you get out is what you put in, right? If you don't put any effort into approaching a topic in a creative way, of course it's going to be boring. You can't expect the topic to be presented to you so that, oh, this is easy, this is so easy, like this is basically, this topic is doing the writing itself. No, you have to make the topic work for you. The topic doesn't, you have to make it work for you. Okay, you have to approach that topic in a way that suits your style of writing, that suits your sense of humor, that suits your knowledge, your tastes, right? And that's just how it is. Okay. I know, Tyronique, I am a writer, and I have writer's block. I get stuck. Sometimes I write something and I go back and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. right? But that's a part of the process. The greatest writers in the world, they all experience that and experience it, right? We're all human. Okay, so the purpose of an essay is to encourage students to develop ideas and concepts in their writing with the direction of a little more than their own thoughts. It may be helpful to view the essay as the opposite of a research paper. Therefore, essays are by nature concise and require clarity in purpose and direction. Okay, so I'm just going to read that first part again. So essays are shorter pieces of writing, and students are expected to hone, all right, a number of skills or practice or perfect a number of skills such as creativity, analysis, comparison and contrast, persuasion, conciseness, clarity, and exposition. All right. Now, you don't have to use all those skills in one essay, obviously, because, you know, comparison and contrast, that would be most likely expository in nature. Persuasion would obviously be, you know, in terms of like an argumentative essay or an essay attempting to convince. Creativity would have to do with narrative writing, descriptive writing per se. I mean, possibly. Okay. And all essays needs to be clear, no matter what you're writing about. Guys, remember, you can unmute yourselves and speak up. Okay. And I'm no one has spoken yet. That's crazy. All right. Okay. So keep in mind what I said, right? It's not the topic, it's what you do with it. It's not the topic. Now I get it. Some people are more imaginative than others, right? And yeah, okay. But you know, another thing, that's why it's good to read. Not just watch TV shows, but read. Reading is always fundamental and will continue to be fundamental. And I think a lot of you struggle with writing because you don't read. And when I say read, I mean read actual books, novels. I don't mean reading posts on Facebook with all kind of grammatical errors and then curse words. All right? That's not the type of reading I'm talking about. I don't mean reading Instagram posts talking about, you know, those Instagram posts like 2021. You know what? If you're not for me, I'm cutting you off. Like, okay, you said that in 2020 as well, in 2019, but you still, I mean, why are you still saying this? Right? So, yeah. Okay, so let's look at some more information here. Okay, the length and weight, all right, of paper 1. All right. Does anyone remember how long or what the word range is for the paper 1 for the essay? Who can remember the word range? Ooh, no, not the amount of words, not the approximate amount of words, not the limit, but the range. All right, 300 and 350. Okay, Aaliyah is warm. Aaliyah is warm. All right, no, not 300. It's definitely more than that. All right, all right. Angel is warmer. Okay. So yeah, I've seen the two numbers. Okay, it's actually 350 to 500 words. Okay, 350 to 600. 1,000. Angel, chill. What's going on? Okay. Yes. James, hello. Okay, I'm gonna have to mute you, Marquella, because I mean I'm just here in the background. Okay, no, that caller didn't answer. All right. Okay, so let's keep going. All right. Now this examination is 70 minutes long. Okay, 1 hour and 10 minutes. The core writing paper provides candidates with 10 minutes to choose a topic or prompt and write a plan. Okay, So you're given 70 minutes. Yes, Angel, only 70 minutes, not a week. You know, like how, I'll give students, I say, okay, guys, today is Tuesday. We want you to bring this essay in next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday comes, still not done. So no, you have 70 minutes under examination conditions to write a 350 to 500 word essay. All right? You have 1 hour. Sorry, you have 10 minutes to choose. I hope you guys saw that. You have 10 minutes to choose your topic. And there are a number of them to choose from. And based on what you choose, you will be writing in a particular mode, whether that be narrative, descriptive, persuasive, or expository. All right? You'll be writing in one of those modes. And you are expected to produce a plan. Okay? All right? You have to produce a plan. So not only in 70 minutes do you have to choose your topic, commit to a topic, and write a plan for it, you then have to, in the remaining hour, translate that plan into an essay. Develop that plan into an entire essay, which is why planning, knowing how to plan is so important. Okay? And the planning is very simple, you know. It could be as simple as just jotting down some ideas based on what you think about the topic, and this is why, students, I encourage you to go with expository writing, because once you come up with 3 to 4 points, and yet that's your thesis right there. Those are your paragraphs right there. You know what you're going to talk about. You know what you're going to develop. You know what your paragraphs of your body will cover, right? So that's why I'm a proponent of expository writing. Okay? Now, a lot of students say, well, I can write stories. I like essay. I like narrative essay. I like stories. I like to tell stories because, I'm interested and I can write good stories and things. All right, cool. Just keep in mind that if you're writing a narrative essay, there's a lot to be considered. Okay? There's dialogue. Sorry, there's plot. Right? Conflict in that plot. Dialogue, exposition, characterization, setting, okay? Description, figurative language, use of suspense, use of reflection, okay, use of flashback. All right, this person is saying narrative essay is best. All right, but listen to all of those elements that I just listed that you have to get right, that you have to balance perfectly. Because you can't have a bunch of description in your narrative, because is it really a narrative still? Is it telling a story, or is it now a descriptive essay? All right? You have to have dialogue, because I see a lot of students write narrative essays with no dialogue. How? I see students write narrative essays and there's a bunch of exposition. Nothing happens in the essay until the very end, and then they conclude it. Like, no. All right? All right. Those elements aren't hard to accomplish. I got you. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's continue. All right. The remaining 60 minutes are used to write an essay between 350 and 500 words in length based on the aforementioned plan. The essay represents 40% of your overall grade in the English language. It's very touchy. BGCSE. So 350 to 500 words. You have 1 hour to write the actual essay, 10 minutes to choose your topic and plan, and the essay as a whole is worth 40% out of 100 when we're talking about the core examination. Because there's paper 1, there's paper 2, and paper 3 in the core exam. Paper 4 is the extended paper. So paper 1 is 40, paper 2 is worth 15%, and paper 3 is worth 45. 40 plus 45 is 85. plus 15 is 100. Okay? Right. So, moving right along. So paper one is pretty weighty. 40% is a lot, and paper one actually anchors the rest of the papers. When you do paper four, and when you and even with your paper three, examiners look back at your paper one to see where they can place you. Because if you have good comprehension but your composition is weak, that could translate to you getting a D instead of a C, or an E instead of a D, or B instead of an A, or C instead of a B. Okay, so your essay writing and your comprehension needs to be strong. Your comprehension skills and your composition skills need to be strong. Aaliyah, they count those words. They count them. I am telling you. They count them. And they have to highlight every error in every essay. All right. So what are teachers and examiners looking for? Okay. Content. Be sure that your essay is understandable, logical, and relevant to the topic. So, if you have 505 words, Emmanuel, all that means is they won't penalize you for that. But once you go like more than 20 or 30 words over the word limit, then they cross off everything you would have written after a certain point. Like let's say you write 600 words. So they would be crossing off from like maybe 520, 530 words. And you could have an essay that would make Shakespeare envious. But they cross out the last 70 words because who told you to write all that? You can't follow instructions. All right. So they just, but 500, like maybe if you get to 525, 25, 530, they won't penalize you. But anything beyond that, you will be penalized. Okay. They will cross it out and pretend like it doesn't exist. Okay. I'll always go narrative. I like the taste. Okay. Good stuff. All right. So what are teachers and examiners looking for now? Guys, by teachers, we mean us. By examiners, we also mean us because your teachers are also examiners. Mrs. Dennis marks. I mark. Mrs. Toot marks. All right. And Mr. Toussaint will be marking, I am sure. Okay. So, all right. All right, DeAndre, you want to say something or ask a question? No? Oakley dokley. Okay. Anyway, so these are the areas that we look at when we assess an essay. Okay. Content. Be sure that your essay is understandable, logical, and relevant to the topic. Now, I remember a student, not my student, but what a student did one year, maybe like 3 years ago, almost 4 now, was she was a good student, but she ended up writing it was an expository essay, and she wrote like a narrative. She wrote a story instead. And she came to me crying, "Oh, Mr. Walker, I don't know. The essay was expository, but I wrote it. I told the story, and I don't know like what they could do to me. Like, are they going like they're going to destroy me? Are they going to kill my family? Right?" So she was all in her feelings, right? And I was like, that you will most likely be penalized, but they will still look at the essay as and other areas. So content is only one part of what we look at, right? So content. Be sure that your essay is understandable, logical, and relevant. So if you choose a narrative topic, write a narrative. If you choose an expository topic, write an expository essay. If you choose a descriptive topic, write a descriptive essay. Okay? Hold on. Okay. Organization is important. Okay, now guys, this is probably going to take us a couple of lessons, to be honest with you. So just bear with me. Organization, all right? Now, when we're talking about organization, we're talking about how well put together and easy to follow is your essay. Is it so easy that a caveman could read it? Right? So you write in paragraphs and use transitional words and or phrases between them so that your story slash description slash explanation slash argument can be fully understood. Like when I read your essay, I should see like, yes, paragraphs are separating certain ideas, but I should see how these ideas are connected to one another. I should see transitional words like firstly, earlier that morning, later that day, subsequently. All right. Furthermore, I should see those things. Mrs. Dennis should see those things. Mrs. Toot should see those things. Mr. Tucson should see those. And when we look at your essays, right, we should see a level of organization and connectedness. Okay. So that your essay flows and it makes sense from start to finish. Like, I don't have to be asking, well, the essay started out in France and in the second paragraph we're in Morocco and I don't know why. Like they just jump from one location to another. Like how? Right? So even though essays and narrative essays in particular can be fictional and very like fanciful, yeah, but Angel, you have to what I'm saying is that has to be clear in the essay. If you are writing an essay as if it's supernatural, but you're not indicating to me, nothing indicates to me that this is a supernatural event occurring, then I am going to assume that there's an error with organization, there's an error with transition, and there's an error with flow. Like there's a disconnect. That's what I will assume. Yeah, but if that's not said, then I got to fill in the blanks myself, right? So now another thing we look at, style, use of style. Use the correct tone, sophisticated vocabulary. We don't want, I always tell my students, leave the sight words. My son is 5. Sight words like boy and girl and big and small and tall and nice and good. Those 4-letter words and those 3 and 5-letter words from grade 1 and kindergarten, leave them there. Leave them there. Okay? We want sophisticated vocabulary. We want to see that, hey, this kid has maybe cracked open a book or two. Right? Exactly. We want immaculate vocabulary. Right? We want to see that you guys like have buried your faces in a thesaurus. All right? Okay? And we also want to, very important, sentence structure has to be varied. All right? No language teacher wants to see sentence structure like this. My name is Emmanuel. I like ice cream. I go to the mall. I buy sneakers. I walk home. What's wrong with what I just said? And I was just using Emmanuel as an example. And I mean, I don't mean that's how he speaks or writes. It's too simple.
Yeah.
There's no variety. It's like, instead of exactly dry as a biscuit from Popeyes. And that biscuits be dry. It'd be dry. But guess what? I love them because you could put that honey on it and it's oh so good.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord.
All right. Alicia, yeah, listen, you ain't want to hear me trying to sound, you don't want to hear me like acting slow for real. All right. Okay. But yeah. Yes. Okay. So the problem but sentence variety changes that. Okay. He couldn't hide it any longer. He was in love with her. He was in love. Right? Big difference. Variety, sentence structure variety. Okay? Simple, compound, complex, compound, complex. Okay? There we go. All right? Accuracy. Ensure that your grammar, spelling, and punctuation are accurate. Lord, Mrs. Dennis, this is where plenty of them fall down, eh?
Oh, Lord.
With the
Yeah.
spelling.
This would kill them.
The spelling and the grammar. And the punctuation.
No full stop. Just rude.
Yeah, no full stops, but they'll put a listen, Mrs. Dennis. I saw an essay where a student didn't have a full stop anywhere except the last sentence. I swear to you. No commas, no semicolons, no colons, no dashes, just a singular full stop at the end of the essay.
Yeah, like that made a big difference.
Yes, Angel, just road. No, we're not pumping brakes around here.
No,
Okay?
that's exactly how they carry on when they write it.
Ran out of time. This was an essay. Hold on. This was an essay that was no. This may have been a timed essay for real. But anyway, yeah, that's just one long sentence. That's all that is.
That's correct.
That's a sentence. I know essay.
God.
Okay. So, I mean, look at you, Angel. You guys should. Oh, Mrs. Dennis, you see that it gives you a notification for when the meeting will end now?
No.
I saw it just.
Oh, it does?
It said end meeting will end in 5 minutes.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. Microsoft Teams has gotten dangerous now. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So with the last few minutes we have, okay, I'm going to be talking about topics. Who likes topics? Who likes topics? Raise your hand if you like topics. Unmute yourself and say, yes, I love them. All right. Raise your hand in the air. Okay?
Like you just don't care.
No, but we want you to move them like you do, wave them like you do care. Okay? All right? So, paper 1 offers up to 8 topics which cover the 5 modes of writing. 1, narrative. Okay? That's Angel stuff and Emmanuel stuff, right? The narrative essay. Okay? The personal narrative, which is basically a subclass of the narrative.
Yeah.
All right? Descriptive. All right? Persuasive / argumentative and expository. Okay? Angel, why you keep talking about mint Mentos? What's going on? I know my breath can't be sting to the computer. Yeah, so, yeah, what's up with that? Okay, so here we go. You are expected to choose one topic and express your thoughts on it by writing continuously. Okay? Attendance won't be happening today. Okay? Attendance will be happening later this week. The 6th topic is usually a poem. Listen to me. The 6th topic is usually a poem, and the 8th topic is usually made up of 2 photographs. If you select either topic, you are free to use the writing mode of your choosing. So, guys, I have not seen this change in all my years of teaching. They always have the poem as the 6th topic. They give you a little poem or an excerpt of a poem, and then the last topic, the 8th prompt, is 2 photographs you can choose from A and B. All right. Now, you wouldn't mind writing? No, Leah. You're not writing a poem. You're writing an essay based on a poem.
Based on a poem.
All right. Just like the photographs. Now, let me tell you something. Leave the poem alone. Leave the pictures alone. Do not. Don't bother with it. And you know what happens, Mrs. Dennis? When you tell them don't bother with it, they just come, I could do that anyway.
My point exactly.
I can make sure I do it. I could do it, and I could go, and I could find Mr. Walking, and I could tell him I do it. Right? So stay away from the pictures, stay away from the poems. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you want to go with topics that are clearly narrative or clearly expository or clearly persuasive or clearly descriptive.
Yeah.
Not things that are very open. Okay? The poems are very open. The pictures are very open because you can write literally any type of essay on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's too open. That's too broad. When we go into an exam, we need to be focused. We need to be laser targeted. All right? Not thinking about, how can I impress the examiners and the teachers? How can I make them see that I'm so great? Right? We don't have time for that. You have
No.
to get in, be laser focused, and get out of there. Okay? Yeah, Leah, they're not usually clear, even though it's 2020. And I don't get it. Like, we should be having like high definition 8K resolution pictures. You know what I mean? All right. The printers need to step up their game.
I
Okay.
agree.
So the plan. Okay. So guys, we have to stop with the plan, unfortunately. Okay. All
Mr.
right. Yeah.
Wakian, also what we can do is after we've gone through all of this, and you can actually show them a sample. Was that paper 4 or paper 1 that the young lady won for the best essay for the year last year?
I think that was paper 1. I think.
That was paper 1. If we could actually go over some of them, at least that particular one as well, so they could actually see what a good I think that was a narrative, eh? I think she was telling a story, if I'm not mistaken. That
Mm-hmm.
would be a perfect one to actually show them what a good narrative essay looks like. Because to be honest, I thought it was a movie until it dawned on me that it was actually an essay that I read. So that would be good after, at least when you start paper 1 as well.
Yeah. That could definitely work. All right, guys. It's 1 o'clock. We will see you later. Be safe. Be blessed.
Yes, have a
Think,
good day.
think on these things. This recording is going to be uploaded to YouTube. You know how we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.